I have gathered up some pieces of greenery. This is just some faux greenery. And actually most of this is not even Christmas greens. These are just some artificial greens like magnolia leaves. And I think this is kind of a faux lavender maybe without the flowers. And then some kind of fern. And then this one's like a Christmas green. And I've just tied them together with some florist wire into little bundles, and I used these last year actually in my garland on my banister, but I don't have a banister this year, so I'm going to use these bundles in the wreath. And I'm just going to use the florist wire here to tie it onto the wreath form, and I'm just going to get it really tucked in. And I don't need to do a lot of these because the wreath is already pretty full. This is really about adding texture, but this is also a great way to revive kind of an old, tired wreath. And I don't think we need this to be quite that long, so I'm gonna snip that off. Don't be afraid to cut artificial greens. I snip them all the time to make them work for whatever I'm doing. Here's another bundle that has some juniper in it. And this one also already has a wire on it. So, just gonna pull things back, tuck it down in. And wire it in. And I'm just looping them around a part of the wire form and then just twisting them. You could use hot glue, but I think the florist wire is, it's easier to change out when maybe you want a different look, you want to use some different greenery, and it's just not as messy. Now I want to add some color with some dried orange slices. I'm going to, if I can get it through here, thread them onto florist wire. And you can maybe do, let me try 2 together. So I've threaded a couple together, and then I'm just gonna find a good spot. And let's do it right here and tie them into the wreath. I would say for each thing that you add, like each element that you add to the wreath, I would add at least, for a wreath this size, which is 24 inches, I would add 5 elements at least. So 5 to 7 to 9, I would do odd numbers. It just looks a little bit more pleasing. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to add is some ribbon. What I'm going to do is make 1 loop, leaving a tail, another loop, and a tail. So it kind of looks like a bow, but it's not tied together. Then I'm gonna cut the ribbon off at angles. Same thing with this end. I'm gonna cut it off at an angle. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut off a piece of florist wire and tie it around the middle here. And it's gonna make sense in a minute as to why I'm not making a loop. You could do this with wired ribbon if you want. This is just plain ribbon. But I'm gonna tuck it into the wreath like this. So it'll kind of look like a little bow. And just tie on the florist wire as I did with the other elements. And if the edges are, like the ends are a little long, I realized I don't think I want this to be quite so long. So there we go. I'm going to hang it up and see how it looks.